today Naga Siren is the topic of our video, and I'm a little excited for this because Naga Siren is a hero that I spammed to get out of the ancient bracket quickly. And I want to talk about the farming patterns, the unique playstyle that there is to her, and I have 2 replays lined up to show you today. I don't think we're going to watch all of the second replay. I just want to show the laning phase and where the Naga Siren farms, and then I have this replay that we're watching right now to show you guys. The reason I chose this one is because it's actually a very rough time for Naga Siren early on, and we're going to watch how Naga Siren plays the map, retreats to the jungle, and does different things to still hit all of the same timings. The build in both of these games is the same. It's the build that I'm going to recommend, and the first replay is going to start now. I'll probably do a little bit more to talk about things, but one thing you'll notice here is how Naga Siren separates her illusions into one control group of Naga Siren and an illusion, and another control group of 2 illusions, and then she splits them this way. The reason she does this is because you want to be able to cast your illusions and then split them across from each other so they can't get destroyed by AoE spells, the illusions that is, and you don't want to take that much damage as your Naga. So being able to split your illusions quickly by having those control groups bound is really important. I did forget to introduce myself. My name is Navetz, top 2000 immortal Dota player in the North American scene. I am representing my esports team, the Sploush Troupe. I stream on Twitch, so for those of you who are new, thank you very much for checking out the video, and let me know if you have any questions. So back to the laning phase and talking about how this game is going to go for Naga Siren and what the build is. I will do a more complete breakdown of the build. We'll see it play out in this game. Essentially, the idea is going to be you go Manta, Diffusal into Heart. And that is your cookie cutter standard build for Naga. And your timing is to get your Manta around 15 to 16, your Diffusal around 20, and then your Heart by 24 to 25. The later the game goes, the more mirror image illusions you have, and the more Manta image illusions you have, meaning you can farm more camps simultaneously. Now, I do have 2 videos already on my YouTube channel. I'll include them in the description below, and what they show is how to actually micro these illusions and how to micro multiple units. So one is a micro guide and one is a very specific Naga Siren farming guide. Now what we're going to see here is this Naga is going to actually go down. So unfortunately, she overextended a little bit trying to get last hits and went down to Enchantress. Enchantress is fairly decent against Naga in the very early stages of the lane, but she fares very poorly against Naga in the later stages of the game. Naga is actually a really good counter to Enchantress because Enchantress doesn't have any AoE spells, and Naga cannot take care of her illusions in any reasonable way. So we've seen Naga Siren go down once. That's fairly unfortunate for her. We're gonna watch. She's actually going to die a couple more times in this lane, and it's important to note that even though she dies so many times, she's going to find a way to find farm around the map. And a lot of newer players, or a lot of players who don't understand the play style of Naga, would get discouraged in a game like this and give up very easily. They would be the people who are like, GG, I'm done, walk down mid, break my items or whatever. This is how you actually play the hero. So if you have a Naga on your team that you think knows what they're doing, or if you know what you're doing, then you know your Naga knows what she's doing or not. You'll know if your Naga knows what she's doing or not. Or if you're the Naga herself, understand that this is a timing based hero, and if you just withstand a few deaths like this Naga will and find a way to hit your mid game timings, you can come back and win a game very easily. Now it also helps that the Mars does really well in this game for the Naga. I won't deny that. Sometimes your teammates pull through for you, but when your carry does poorly, it usually doesn't bode well for your team. So now Enchantress is actually putting so much pressure on this lane because she's taken over that Wild Wing Whip Rider or whatever it's called. What's it called again? What's this name of this creep? Wild Wing Whip Rider. So now she's taken over the Wild Wing Ripper, and she's basically throwing down a significant amount of slows, a significant amount of damage by throwing Impetus on Naga every time it's available, and Naga doesn't have a lot that she can do. I didn't talk about starting items yet. I should have. This Naga went very greedy with her starting items. She went for only 3 sets of tangos, a quelling blade, circlet, and slippers of agility to build into a wraith band. Now, why did she go so greedy? I honestly think she could have came with a little bit more agility, but I think her plan was to have the agility a little bit more regeneration, but I think her plan was just to have the regeneration flown out to her. And now that she's died a lot of times, maybe she would have played that differently or gone with a less greedy starting build. But either way, the idea here is that she wants to try to get the wraith bands up as soon as possible, and when she has 3 wraith bands, that's when she can start moving into the jungle and clearing camps very easily. So currently what her build is, she's got 2 wraith bands. She's gonna go into a 3rd, and then after a 3rd wraith band, some Nagas will go for a 4th wraith band, or some Nagas will go for a windlace. It's kind of game by game dependent and sort of what your personal preference is. The windlace is good because it helps your illusions and your Naga Siren move around the map quicker. The wraith band is good because it gives you additional stats and agility, which are good on all of your illusions. Now, something to understand about illusions. Illusions don't get bonuses such as illusions get bonuses based on stats. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you build a bunch of items that are stat based, your illusions will get those bonuses. But if you build items that are not stat based, your illusions will not get those bonuses. So building items like, if I was to take a look at stat based items real quick while Naga takes a little bit of damage here, building items such as a Scotty would give each illusion 25 to all attributes, increase the health and mana pool of all the illusions as well. Building something like a Manta, quite a bit of illusion, quite a bit in terms of illusion bonuses. Even an E-Blade gives a lot for stats, and so does a Scythe of Vice. We're going to talk more in depth about the items after the game and the build variations. I just want to point out that the more stat items you have on your hero, the more potent your illusions will be. Now, we actually see Naga go down again. So how many times has she died now? Is that the 2nd time? Is that the 2nd death or 3rd death? Let's speed that up a little bit. I believe that was the 2nd death. All right. My game's acting up a little bit. I can't click on this actual Naga here. Let's switch to free perspective. Click Naga. Okay, a 2nd death, and we'll click back. Okay, so Naga's died twice, and now at this point she has the 3 wraith bands, and she's going to buy her next item. Now, she does not buy the boots of speed. She actually gets the gloves of haste. This is usually what you do, because what you want to do is use the gloves of haste, which is another stat-based item, the attack speed, which your illusions will get as well, to push out the waves, and then send your illusions to the wave to farm it, and then send your Naga into the jungle. So she's at level 6 now. She's definitely lost this lane, but she had to stay in this wave long enough to get experience to get up to level 6. And now Zeus rotates from mid to the safe lane as well, and she gets her 3rd death. So 3 deaths on Naga, but she still has managed to get a decent amount of last hits. She's sitting at 36. Riki's only ahead of her by 5 in terms of the off lane. That's obviously because Mars is doing really well, but Riki's making Riki's not going to be the game deciding issue for her. So where does she decide to TP now? This is where she sacks her lane. So this is an example, a really good example of a Naga Siren who has fallen behind, and the replay number 1 is going to show you how to recover from a Naga that's fallen behind, and she's still going to hit the same item timings, or relatively great item timings, as if she had not fallen behind. So right now she's sending all of her illusions and her Naga to farm these camps. So she's used 3 illusions to farm this, 3 illusions to farm this, and she's going to use all 3 illusions to farm this. She could have separated this into different amounts. She could have separated this into different amounts of illusions going to different camps, but instead what she did was she knew that she was going to be here in time to stack this camp, so she's farmed it with 3. And now only having 3 wraith bands means that she's not strong enough to let her illusions farm camps completely on their own. If she wanted to, she could separate this into 2 illusions into one control group and 1 illusion plus her hero in another control group and split them that way. But because she stacked that camp, she needed all of her illusions plus her main hero there to farm it. Now, she keeps the Ocean Heart in her inventory because it's the stat-based item. That is pretty much exactly what she needs. As a Naga Siren, you'll also probably find that you have to fly yourself some clarities. I know that I usually do. I feel like sometimes I run a little bit low on mana. Now, the skill build. Let's basically talk about it and how the progression works to mass farming the jungle, because she's in mass jungle farming stage. She's decided, or not decided, she's been forced to sacrifice this top tower. Enchantress has taken it out. Naga is unable to stop Enchantress from having free reign over there. So instead, oh, she comes over here to get the bounty rune. She might actually perish for this, and instead of perishing, what she has done is save a value point. Let's see if she had this a couple seconds ago. Okay, she's level 8 right now. So see what Naga has done. Typically you go 4-4, and then you can build into, or then you can skill into Ensnare, Song of Siren, and at your talent tree you're going to get the 10% mirror image damage most likely. But what she's doing is saving this skill point because she's making a risky play. So while she goes for this bounty rune, she knows other people usually go for bounty runes, which makes sense. When I go for this bounty, whoops, I bet. When she goes for the bounty rune, instead of having a point in Riptide, which she doesn't need, she skills her Song of the Siren, uses it as an escape mechanism, songs, and teleports to base. So Song can be used as an escape mechanism, and it can also be used as an initiation. We're going to see an initiation and a fight reset. So we're going to see that happen as well. We're going to watch her initiate with, in this game, we're going to watch her initiate with Song of the Siren, I believe. But primarily she'll use it to reset in the middle of a fight, to get everybody in good position and to make plays in that way. So 10 minutes, we almost have a Yasha. When you have a Yasha on Naga Siren is when you become, I would say, a pretty fat hero. A Yasha means that you usually have Yasha by the time you have Ensnare. And if you are able to get your Riptide illusions attacking a hero that has been ensnared for a couple of seconds and they get a couple of Riptides off, first off, the damage that Riptide does is an additional, I want to take a quick look and see, 30, 40, 50, 60 at level 4 with 17% chance of it proccing and 8 armor reduction. The armor reduction is what really matters. So if any of your illusions trigger the Riptide, you'll reduce the enemy hero's armor by 8, and that will let you just shred them. With a Yasha, absolutely kill them. Now, why are we going for a Yasha instead of a Diffusal Blade, right? Because the progression on most heroes is you go Diffusal into Manta. So what's with Naga going Manta into Diffusal? Well, the Diffusal hopefully makes a little bit of sense. We want to buy the Diffusal because of the mass amount of mana that we're going to burn with all of our mirror image illusions. In addition to that, it provides pretty good stats for Naga. So why aren't we getting it first? The reason is because Manta can exponentially increase the amount of farm that you can get around the map. You're able to farm an extra 2 creep camps every 30 seconds when you have a Manta. You literally just have to split your illusions. You split your illusions using the tab cycle technique that is in that other video that's in the description that I talked about. Use the tab cycle technique to split the illusions, and you can farm up to 5 camps at once you get your Manta. And then when you get your level 20 talent plus 1 mirror image illusion, you can farm 6 camps plus a whole wave with your Naga Siren, and that is why this hero is one of the fastest farmers in the game. I think some of the only heroes that can compare with Naga are like Terrorblade, Terrorblade, Anti-Mage, I don't know, I'm probably missing some here, but I'm just thinking that, and Alchemist. But Naga just has the potential to farm everything. So what does that mean in terms of the draft? If Naga can farm everything, what kind of heroes should be paired with Naga? You likely do not want to have a hero who is another farming based carry playing with Naga. So you wouldn't want to have a hero who comes online at like 25 minutes as well as Naga on your team. So your mid laner is not going to do something like your mid laner is not going to pick something that's a farm based or farm intensive hero like a Phantom Lancer or like a Spectre or something. You're probably going to get a more active hero that can make plays in the mid game and make space for you. Oh, and here's a nice little trick that we saw here. Oh, she missed it. She actually split her illusions from the camp right here and this camp as well. Or she split her illusions, sent 2 of them to this camp with her main hero, and tried to stack this camp with her illusions. You have to be aware of the stack timings. Stacking often on Naga is really important. Really important. Every time you have the opportunity to, at the minute mark, you should probably be able to get 2 stacks off. Now, how long do you have between mirror images? So mirror image has a cooldown of 36 seconds and the image duration is 26 seconds, which means you have a 4-second cooldown on your Naga Siren illusions from the time that they expire. You're only going to have to spend 4 seconds without illusions. Now that 4 seconds, it actually it feels like a lifetime when you're playing this hero, because like if you don't have illusions up, you're just like, what am I doing? In that time, you should be preparing to make plays. Oh, and she's getting initiated on here as well. We're watching her farm multiple jungle camps and go to different areas of the map, but here she is getting initiated on. Notice that she has not gone and joined any of these fights in any way right now. Like she is not that type of hero yet. She's not in a position to help her teammates win a fight. She knows that when she gets a Manta, though, that's when she becomes a hero that can really help. So how is this Naga, who is sitting about over 1,200 gold away from a Manta style, going to get her Manta, Diffusal, and Heart by like the 24-minute mark? Well, we're gonna watch her farm progression in the next couple minutes and see exactly what she does. And by the way, I also think that this Naga could have been a little bit more efficient with her illusion usage, but that's besides the point. So here she's going to push the wave with the illusions while sending her hero to the jungle. Ancient Apparition came over here and stacked this camp. So fantastically, Ancient Apparition gave her an ancient camp. She just farmed mid wave. She just farmed this camp. She farmed the second mid wave with her illusions. Now she's going to take this camp, spawn more illusions, take a double jungle stack, because that's how strong her illusions are. Once she has the Yasha, anything goes in terms of farming. Like, you can, with your Naga, farm basically anything. And she finds a Ring of Aquila, which is like, it's such a great item for her to find. Finds actually an Aquila and an Imp Claw, so that's very nice. And now she's very close. She's only 100 gold away at 1630 from her Manta style. So even with the 4 deaths on Naga, she has managed to get a relatively good timing on her Manta. Her team is making all of the space in the world from her, and she's farming away from them. Now, instead of going down to this tower, she's going to retreat back into her jungle, I believe. Not yet. Well, she has vision of this fight. She knows that they just fought there. It looks like she's going to opt to take an extra camp, and she actually has her Manta here. So what she can do is farm this camp again and send either Manta illusions or her mirror image illusions in this direction. So what she's going to do is actually send her mirror image illusions in that direction. Are they going to farm the ancient camp, or are they going to farm the wave? They're going to go ahead and farm the wave. And she still has vision of these people mid, so she's playing this bottom side of the map. And this is perfect. While she plays this bottom side of the map, she drops her Manta and she's getting out of here. She doesn't want to stay here because now it's dangerous. People can rotate here. What she wants to do is maximize her farm by going back up towards her jungle. And this is an interesting play that she's going to make here. I did a quick walkthrough of this replay, and I didn't know that you could stack like this. So check out this cool stack timing that she's going to do. She's going to Quelling Blade here, attack this at 53, come over here, hit this at 55, and walk out this way. And she's going to end up getting a stack on both camps. So instead of just farming one ancient camp and one large camp, she's going to farm a double ancient camp and a double large camp. And then again, she uses her illusions to pull the ancients towards her, so as she finishes up the camp, she's ready to start hitting again. This is like maximum efficiency in terms of farming. Fantastic example of how to just farm 2 camps as quickly as possible. I know it doesn't seem super important, But these are the things that you have to be considering. And a fight's breaking out mid here. She could go participate. However, she's not. She's waiting to have her Diffusal blade. She still does have the ability to continue farming very quickly. Look at this. She's going to split her illusions, farm 2 camps, send her main hero, and her team just won a team fight. That gives her free reign everywhere around the map. If your team can win a team fight against like a 3 against 2 like this, or a 3, or get three core heroes killed across the map, you're sitting in a good spot. You're sitting in a very good spot because you get to farm any part of the map you want at that point. And she's spending a lot of time in the enemy's jungle. The reason she can do this is because she has vision of where the enemy heroes were on the map. She watched the fights happen. She is aware of where people have rotated, and she's definitely paying attention to where different heroes teleport. And we're gonna see if she decides to stay here, if she decides to go top. She might go top, but she has her Diffusal blade on the way. So look at that. That's been like 3.5 minutes of free farming. You guys watched all of the farming. She didn't have that many people help her in that farming scenario. It was this stack, and everything, and everything else that you saw happen there. And now she has a Diffusal blade on the way to her. Where's her courier? Oh, it just sent it out, but her Diffusal blade is on the way. The speed of this has been incredible. And now she's basically an 0-4 Naga Siren with a 20-minute Manta Diffusal. Like, imagine how upset you would have to be if you were the other team and you felt like you shut down the hero that you needed to shut down, but you couldn't do anything. Now she drops her Manta to continue pushing this wave, and she's not going to stay there herself. Her goal, again, is to stay safe, play in the back lines, do what she's got to do, and look. This is where she's really going to look to engage in a fight. The combination for killing with Naga. So I'm going to talk about this real quick because most people, I know it seems really basic, but I didn't figure this out until like my 10th Naga game when I was first learning the hero. I remember I was just like, other people get so many kills with Naga. How do I not get any kills? Well, Manta is the time that you can start getting kills. Actually, you can start fighting with Yasha, but you can only pick like 1 to 2 fights to join within the first 20 minutes of the game. You can't join all of the fights unless you're just really far ahead. If you're always fighting, you're not farming. So as a Naga Siren, you have to understand you can't farm, you can't brawl. Your hero's not made to do that. You're not made to be a brawler, but you can join 1 to 2 fights and get a huge advantage, get towers and things like that. Now she's going to join this fight. I'm going to talk about the Manta Initiation in a second. Here she comes to join a fight. She drops her Manta illusions, and we're going to watch the way she goes down here. So she's following the Riki, gets the Ensnare off. Ensnare has a pretty long range as long as you have vision. If you lose vision, Ensnare gets stopped. The cast animation stops, and it's a very long cast animation. Now what we're seeing here is the Song of the Siren into the re-engage. So they've chased down heroes here. Her heroes are a little bit low on health. This is the perfect opportunity to set up because she's got a Mars and an Ember here. So by songing into this, the Zeus won't have any opportunity to go away. The Mars will get some time to maybe throw another spear. The Ember Spirit will get to throw down some searing chains. She can drop her Manta style illusions and right next to that Zeus, and she should be able to get this kill. So she's got a song off on not just the Shaker but also the Zeus. And here she goes, gets him rooted, or sorry, the Ember roots the Zeus, and then she just goes ahead and kills him. Another very important thing to know about Song, you can cancel it. You don't have to wait the full 7-second duration. If you press R again when you have Song of the Siren going, you cancel your song. So if everybody's set up for a kill and you have to communicate with your team. You got to be like, okay, I'm setting up for Song, I'm setting up with Song, I'm setting up with Song. You walk in, you spread your illusions around, you're like, okay, I'm getting ready to go in 3, 2, 1. Use your mic if you have to, cancel your song, and everybody knows at that point to cast their spells. It's really hard to just gauge how long 7 seconds has been, right? But if you're telling them when you're gonna disengage your song, you're gonna have a much higher probability of coordinating properly with your teammates. Okay, back to the conversation of how to engage with Naga. I'm sorry, I know I got sidetracked, but that team fight was important. When you have your Manta, all you have to do is walk forward, ensnare somebody, run next to them, and then pop your Manta on top of them. The reason you can't drop your mirror image illusions is because mirror image is has a much higher cast time. So look how long it takes to cast. I know it doesn't seem like a super long time. I'll probably go through this in a demo game afterwards, but it is much longer than the instant cast of Manta. And the instant cast of Manta, all you really care about is getting Riptide illusions off. So you run forward, you ensnare somebody, you catch up next to them, and then you hit Manta. And then when you get your Diffusal, after you hit your Manta, you're obviously trying to hit the enemy with both the Manta style illusions. Your hero, if you can spawn mirror image illusions at some point, you do, or if you already have them, you have them running in. But then you just Diffusal them, and then they can't run away. So you've closed distance with the ensnare, you've dropped all kinds of illusions on them, you're stopping them from running away with Diffusal, and that's usually a kill combination. And this team does have an Earthshaker that they have to worry about, so Echo Slam is a threat against Naga until she gets a Heart of Trask. So we're going to see this build. Naga is going for her heart. It's 24 minutes into the game, and she actually just had the heart delivered to her. So a Naga Siren who's 1, 4, and 6 manages to get Manta, Diffusal, Heart. That is a really good recovery. Over here, she's gonna teleport to this lane. If she wanted to, what she could do right here is drop Manta, send her Manta illusions here and here. She could drop mirror image, send her mirror illusions here, and then she could just farm the top wave with her main hero, and then spawn another set of illusions over here, send another illusion to this camp to finish it off, and send 2 more illusions this way. That's how you farm the whole map. Instead of doing so, I think she's just kind of like getting a little lackadaisical. If she was just trying to completely maximize farm efficiency, maybe she would have done that. I'm not really sure, but that's what I would have done right there to just get everything off. Now we're gonna see this Earthshaker initiate on Naga, but Naga Siren has Heart, and when you have Heart, it's not just your hero that has they're gonna have an incredibly hard time killing, because while you are very tanky at 3,300 HP, your illusions are also crazy hard to get, because they get all of the stat-based bonuses from the strength and the health that the heart gives you. So here she is using Song to re-engage, and they're basically it looks like finishing up this game. This is Naga's game-ending timing, and they are gonna probably just walk down and end the game. This is also your Roshan timing, by the way. If they were behind in this game, once you get this 24-minute Manta illusion or Manta Diffusal Heart, you can also farm Roshan solo. You can just solo Roshan. The Heart makes it so it's very easy for you to do that. Your illusions tank all the damage, your Riptide reduces his armor, and you just zip through him, dude. Like, he goes down very quickly. In addition to that, if you have anybody with a Solar Crest or somebody with armor reduction, maybe a TA with a Desolator, something like that, you could just pop him right away. Or a Slardar. Slardar's sweet for fighting Roshan really quickly. I'm going to take a look at the spells that Naga went for. So Naga went for the movement speed, the agility, the +1 mirror image illusion, and then depending on how the game's going or which heroes are in the game, she might go for the Riptide armor, or she might go for the evasion. Actually, she just went down here. I wasn't really watching. I think they thought that the game was over. Yeah, that's why Skylar is like, "What are you doing? We won this game," which it kind of looks like they won. But anyways, that's what she died. Let's speed up a little bit here and try to get this game finished out so we can show the next example of a laning phase that goes much better for Naga. She actually gets put in a solo lane, and that's much easier for her to farm. So let's go zippity zip, zippity zip, and we're gonna watch how Naga finishes this off. She's still farming. Look at the mini map. Notice that her illusions are here. over here. She's using shift Q, tab cycle to get her illusions going everywhere, and she can also push into the base with her illusions that people can't really deal with in any easy way. She can stand in the back, doesn't have to put her hero at risk. She's gonna go ahead and just destroy this, but once she sees the song opportunity, they're gonna song on top of them and probably end the game. So Mars gets in real deep. Nice blink, Arena of Blood, pops his BKB, and Naga's just she's just killing stuff. She's not even concerned about killing the hero, she's just concerned about ending the game, and it looks like they're gonna go ahead and let her do that, and this game will be over in 3 2 3 2 3 2. Singing dum, 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 dum. All right, the game's going on longer than necessary. It doesn't matter, this game's over. So that was the example that we wanted to see there. I want to take a look at the scoreboard and see what her numbers are looking like. So if you see Naga Siren here, the GPM 739, the XPM 854. Fantastic. Fantastic. The skill build is mirror image, riptide, mirror image, riptide, mirror image, riptide, mirror image. Saves the song at level she saved her skill point for song at level 8, as we saw. Riptide gets the movement speed instead of the illusion damage. This is something I don't usually do, but I think it's something I need to start doing because the extra illusion damage doesn't do that much in comparison to how much that movement speed must do. And then goes maxed out in snare and calls it a day. So that is the build. Let's go into replay number 2 real quick. Second replay, we get to see a Naga with a tri-lane, and this Naga went a little bit less greedy with her starting items, just the circlet, double iron branches, tangos, doesn't bring a healing salve, which I like. You usually don't need a healing salve on Naga because of the high base armor. 7 base armor is really good, so she can trade effectively, and she's up against a Faceless Void. We're gonna see how she goes ahead and plays that. So see here that she's splitting her illusions up the same way the other Naga did. She's going to go ahead and try to get the bounty, maybe deny that one, and instead of being able to deny it, she isn't able to deny it, so that's okay. Now they're going to go tri-lane versus tri-lane over here. We're not going to pay attention to that. We're just going to focus on her lane and see what she does. So there's a lot of interesting things here. The first one I want to note, and this is very interesting, is the block. She blocked this wave to go under her tower. Why would a Naga Siren do that? It's because she doesn't want to trade. She wants to stop wave equilibrium from being stagnant. She doesn't want to trade with Void. And instead of trading with Void, what she's going to do is be able to last hit under tower because she has the damage from her illusions and her heroes. And then she's going to have multiple creeps pushing into Void's tower. So Void's going to have too many creeps around him. In a 1v1 lane, he's not going to be able to effectively harass Naga. So what he's done, what Naga has done is give herself what I would consider a significant laning advantage, and then she's going to be able to control that by spawning her illusions under the Void's tower again and stopping the Void from getting any easy last hits. So now she has more creeps next to her than Void does. So if Void attacks Naga, Void's going to get hit by more creeps, and Naga is going to be able to just get the levels. So what's important for Naga here is not so much, especially early on, she doesn't really care about the last hits. Like, she does because she wants Wraith Bands early, but the last hits are almost insignificant compared to the levels that she gets. So basically the same play that we're gonna see in this out of this Naga: mirror image, Riptide, and then she's gonna go mirror image again, Riptide again. Most likely Riptide again, although she might get a point in snare, since Faceless Void is a very fragile hero if he cannot time walk, and in snare is a root. It stops you from time walking for 2 seconds, so quite a bit of damage can be done in 2 seconds, maybe even some kill potential, although Faceless Void's time walk does undo 2 seconds of damage. But you see, he undoes some damage there, and if she had ensnare, maybe she would be able to just ensnare him and force him to leave lane for a second or send more regen or something like that. Look how she's playing the lane. She's not waiting to deny creeps. What she's doing is moving forward, hitting the Void with everything she's got, and trying to get the last hits when they're available. So the illusions are focused on the Void. The creeps are now under his tower, and she's going to focus on her farm while Void focuses on his. He's being put in a position where he has to play under tower. He has quite a bit of regen, but he is, like I said, playing under tower here. And what Naga's going to do is spawn a set of illusions and try to deny these creeps under tower if she can. Or maybe she'll wait for the illusions, it looks like. Yeah, I guess she's going to wait for a second for the illusions. But she will spawn the illusions again soon. Yeah, it looks like right when she gets out of tower range, she's going to spawn them again and then move this way. So it's at the 3-minute mark. She's level 4, and this is ideal for Naga. Like, if I don't know why they're tri-laning. I guess they think that there's nobody on the team that can deal with Naga, and they have to make sure that Wraith King has a good game. So be it. Fair enough and easy for Naga. So Naga is now gonna again try to deny Void's creeps, which she is doing. She has 18 last hits, 6 denies, as opposed to what's Void got, 11 to 2. So far lane is in favor of Naga, and Void can't even hit the Naga Siren because every time he hits her, he does like almost no damage. Like look, he's like tickling her. He's like, you're tickling me. I still have 6 tangos, says the Naga, and Void's like, okay, well, I can't really do anything about that. Sorry. The creeps still pushing under the tower, and Naga's laning advantage is just it's just moving at a very natural progression when you're in a 1v1 lane. This is why I like Naga Siren mid. If you know your mid matchup and you know that there's not like a huge amount of AoE, you can play Naga Siren mid fairly easily. It's actually my preferred way to play the hero. The only thing is that you need your safe lane hero to be a playmaking hero instead of a farming based hero. It's usually the other way around. It's usually your mid player that's the playmaking hero and your safe lane hero who's the farming hero. So that's something that you have to make the judgment call for whether or not your team can make that happen. Look at this. She roots the Void. Did Void have a fairy fire? I think Void just fairy fired there, or he has a wand. What does he have? He must have had a fairy fire because he fairy fired and saved himself. So she did level up the ensnare and almost killed the Void. Now she's under the tower and she's still pushing or putting pressure on him. She's going to try to get all of these creeps, and once she gets to level 6, that's when she can start jungling really quick. She may have been able in this time, she may have been able to grab one of these large camps and come to this wave, but what she's really doing is stopping Void from getting anything. She's keeping the pressure on Void by being hyper aggressive and maybe sacrificing a tiny little bit of farm, but overall in the long term it's going to net her more since Void is going to be forced to leave her wave. And let's speed it up a little bit and see how she continues with this, and it's going to be the same patterns kind of that we saw. Or if you watch my my carry guide, I have my 9 unique laning scenarios in my carry guide. There's 2 Naga scenarios, and one is how to farm underneath the tower and maintain lane equilibrium, and the other one is how to farm your lane with your illusions and then farm your jungle this way with your hero. I think it's 2 Arteezy clips that I was looking at, and they're 2 really interesting clips based on what level you are. So here we are, level 6. She has 3 points in Mirror Image, 2 points in Riptide, 1 point in Ensnare, and the farming pattern is all we're going to care about here because that's what's important to learn. As she continues to get the farming pattern down, or as she continues to push forward, Void continues to have to last hit under tower, and she is going to maximize her farm and eventually start going to the ancient camp. I don't know if she's going to go to the ancient camp here. I don't think she is because the waves are about to meet back here. So she could have gone to the ancient camp right now because she has the 2 Wraith Bands and her Power Treads. Ooh, she's getting engaged on here. Throws down the Chronosphere. Missed it. So she sleeps and gets out. Oh, did the Vortex pull him out of the Chronosphere? Holy. All right. Naga is surviving by the skin of her teeth. Wow. All right. And now we're going to just watch the rest of this on 4 times speed because farming patterns are basically going to be what's important here. She's getting committed, or the bottom tower is getting committed on. Just like before, she doesn't care that much about the bottom tower. The tower doesn't mean a lot. Being able to push out the creep waves means a lot. And she can always push out the creep waves with her illusion. So even though she doesn't have the tower here as defense, her defense mechanism can be just sending only these illusions and not putting her hero in danger. So over here, the The Void's still on top of her. She uses Ensnare to get away. She's running around in little circles, gets the Tango down, uses an Ironwood branch to get a little bit of extra health, and is just farming at a pretty fast rate. And for the next, I think, 20 minutes of this game, Naga is going to do what Naga does, and that is farm. Notice that she stacked this camp. Watch how she plays this. Nothing to note here. Tusk is trying to make a play. I'm just going to point out important things. I'll slow it down when the important stuff starts happening that's not farming. All right, so she's, again, splitting her illusions. One control group controlling an illusion and her main hero. Another one sent her 2 other illusions this way, giving her free reign of her whole jungle, sending another 2 illusions this way. By the way, another thing that you can do, this is something that I didn't mention, but I should have, and this is what you can start doing this the second you have a Yasha. Actually, she just did it here. Just did it here. So watch this. Watch where these illusions are. They're just gonna walk forward and target these creeps while avoiding the Void Spirit. You can skip a tower, send illusions here, and meet the creep wave that shows up here at around 15 seconds. Usually the creep wave is here around like not 15, like 12 or 13 seconds. The creep wave will be here. Same thing on this side of the map. If she was pushing this way, the creep wave will be like here around like 12 or 13 seconds, somewhere around here. So you can skip over towers with your illusions. You can even run them right through the tower and push towers that way. So where is our Naga right now? What's she farming? She's almost at her Manta, so it's going to be about a 14-minute Manta. Notice that this Naga did not die 4 times, so her Manta is about 2 minutes earlier than the Manta was on our other Naga that we watched in the first replay, which is great. Now coming over here, this is how. So when I said that you can take a very limited amount of fights on Naga Siren, this is the perfect example of being able to take a limited amount of fights. And this might be the perfect example of how to engage on Storm Spirit, because she's going to do the Ensnare into Manta Break on top of Storm Spirit, I believe here. Let's see. Oh, cancels the Ensnare. Comes forward. Okay, so instead of ensnaring, she didn't ensnare. She used her mirror image illusion. Now she's going to go ahead, come forward. She has the mirror images down. She's not using the Manta. And she's gonna song to get out here because it turns out that they have lost the fight. It's gonna be her escape mechanism, and now she's gonna teleport. So she teleports out. The second that her teleport goes out, it means that everybody else wakes up. So if you are a Naga Siren and you're teleporting to save your team, you have to wait or tell your teammates, hey guys, teleport it out. I'm about to teleport out. You only have 7 seconds. So that means that if your teleport's 3 seconds long, they have 4 seconds from the time your song starts to the very last second you can possibly teleport and get out safely. Usually you want to teleport like 2 to 3 seconds after your song is done. Now the farming patterns again. So this was one fight that she took. She managed to participate in this fight, and while it does slow down her farm a little bit, it could have been a game-winning scenario for her by pushing that wave. Not pushing that wave, by taking that fight. If they win this fight, they can take this mid tower. She can send illusions here and here, and then they can just completely shut off the map for the enemy team. So that was a highly calculated take on a fight. If she couldn't have done anything like gotten a significant advantage in that fight, I don't think that Naga would have been there. And also, Naga Siren is really good against Wraith King, guys. Wraith King is not like, he's super meta right now, and I'm gonna talk about which heroes Naga Siren is good against. Wraith King is one of them. I love playing Naga Siren against Wraith King because your timings are basically like pretty similar to Wraith King's timings, and if Wraith King hits all of his timings and you hit all of your timings, you are much stronger than he is at the same points in the game. So now Naga Siren's pushing this wave. She's gonna send 2 illusions this way. She'll send the rest of her illusions up here. Yep. Yada yada. That's exactly what she needs to do. Other people are fighting mid, the playmaking heroes. Remember how I said you need a playmaking hero as your mid? So Ember is a very good looking playmaking hero, and both of these games, by the way, have been against an Earthshaker with Echo Slam, and this Earthshaker has not been able to do anything. So Ensnare's going down. Okay, this was what I'm talking about here. We're gonna watch this again. Ensnare's gonna go off. She thinks this is the real storm, so she's gonna Manta, walk forward. She's stunned for a second, And then she uses her, she's going to mirror image after the ensnare, walk forward, and then press Manta the second that her main hero gets next to the Storm Spirit. If that was a real storm, it probably would have died very quickly. She did get slowed down by a root there, but that's okay. So she has a Blade of Alacrity. I'm sure she has the Diffusal Blade on the way because she has the Heart queued up next. And then it's not always Heart. You don't always go Heart, but some of the times you do. So she ensnares, uses the mirror image, comes forward, starts doing damage this way, and while this Void Chrono is going down, what she's going to do is set up the re-engage. Not the re-engage, actually, because they're all pretty low. They're going to probably try to get out here. They pull someone back. She's still thinking about fighting. Drops the Manta. I think she made a mistake there. Should have teleported out. I wonder if she'll be able to escape this. Wow, so tanky. At 18 minutes, she's just so strong. They can't do anything to her. This Wraith King still doesn't have his Radiance. He's on his way, but his Radiance timing something like 16 minutes, so he's a couple minutes slow and isn't able to do anything. They managed to stay in this fight the whole time, so she didn't TP out. She's just staying in the background, not risking her own hero, sending Manta illusions forward to do Riptides. And now she's going to back up and go to her base. She has a teleportation scroll available to go continue farming the map. So she needs her Manta now. Instead of that, she comes back to the fight. Let's come back a second and see how she plays this fight out. Teleports mid. Now this is it. Watch. So this is the combo. Come forward. Get next to this hero. Diffusal, Manta. And then the Storm Spirit dies. I think she should have manted faster, actually, but that's okay. She did get the Diffusal off on the Storm, and she had it in Snare. If she would have manted sooner, I think the Storm Spirit would have died sooner. Maybe she was scared of an Echo Slam. It looks like... excuse me. It looks like she was scared of an Echo Slam. Maybe she didn't want to have extra illusions just in case Echo went down right there. So who knows? Maybe that was a high-level play. Now the Wraith King does have his Radiance, but he can't really do anything. He's level 14. She just gets level 16. And look at this farm advantage going down for Naga Siren here. Just completely obliterating. Now she's cutting waves. And in no time, she's going to have this Heart farming ancient camps. And you see that this Naga has been a lot more active than the last Naga because she has been basically ahead the whole game. Her team has been ahead and she herself has been ahead. She hasn't been playing from behind. Playing from behind as Naga isn't that hard. All you have to do is farm your camps while your illusions push out the waves and keep you out of danger. But if you're ahead, what you can do is cut their creep waves and play on their side of the maps and take their camps. So Naga has been highly effective at taking their camps this game. And I didn't see exactly how she got gone on there, but they found her. We got 30 seconds on the respawn. There's a fight that's going to go down. I'm not going to pay attention to that because all I care about is Naga Siren. Here she is, 23 minutes. She has died once now. It's going to slow down her timing a little bit, but all she needs is another maybe 1,000, a little less than 1,000 gold, and she has a Heart. So they're looking to make a play here. If I was Naga, I would be like, yo, I'm not fighting until where's Naga? I would be saying I'm not fighting until I get my Heart, which is a couple seconds from now. But maybe they just think, maybe just that they know that they're stronger. See how she's walking around the back lines here? She's looking to see if she can catch anything over here. Since she can't, she's gonna go grab this creep wave that's showing up, throws down the illusions, gonna send 2 illusions forward, skip this tower. By the way, remember what I talked about? Skip this tower and wait right here. And then when these creeps show up, she's just gonna send the illusions here. And even under tower, they're strong enough to kill a whole creep wave. Perfect example. Her hero can just go ahead and take that level 1 tower. She has her Heart, and she's going to do the same thing that our other Naga did, and that is go for Butterfly next. That is because of the physical damage coming out of the Void, the physical damage coming out of the Wraith King, physical damage, the right clicks coming out of Storm. And basically, that is another Naga timing being hit. And from this point, from 25 to 35 minutes, she's going to be the strongest hero in the game, and then she's going to start falling off little by little. So Naga does have this really fast, hard-hitting timing, and then over time, after a while, she'll slow down a bit. And she doesn't necessarily slow down so much that she doesn't become effective. It's just that other heroes will have an opportunity to catch up, get items that can deal with her illusions. There's all kinds of stuff that can deal with illusions in the game. Mjolnirs are really good against Naga Siren, so if Void gets a Mjolnir, which he's not going for, he's going for an eggs instead. He went for a pure off-lane Void type build. What are you building here? Wraith King is going for a BKB, so he won't be able to do anything. Yeah, they don't have any AoE wave clear. They're going to be relying on the Earth Shaker. So it's going to be really Shaker's job to catch the Naga in a big Echo Slam after she uses Mirror Image Illusion. So if she doesn't get caught by that, she should be fine. And here we're going to see... Ooh, the Earth Shaker was waiting inside. Look at how she plays her illusions forward and her Naga backwards. That was beautiful. We're going to go back a second here. So here we go. We watch the smoke go down. They're going to go into the Roche pit. They're going to see the Shaker. He blinks out. And watch how Naga plays. This is just important to see how she keeps her hero safe in the fight. She's also not wasting her Manta yet, even though is she silenced, or is that just an animation bug? Her illusions are forward. It says she's silenced. I don't think that she is. Her illusions are forward, but she does get caught in the chrono. Anyways, her illusions her illusions forced an Echo Slam out of Earthshaker, and she didn't get caught by that. So here she is. She drops Manta to do a lot of damage to the Void, and is going to just put her illusions on top of the Storm Spirit. Now here is the re-engage. They get the buyback. These heroes want to get out. Those heroes want to get out. The Centaur wanted to get out, but the other heroes want to... the other heroes on the Radiant side want to fight. The Storm Spirit, the Wraith King, and everyone else, they do not want to fight anymore. It actually looks like they're going to turn it, but it's going to be very hard to turn this against the Naga. She's going to teleport right in their faces, and she gets out. They used every spell that they had in terms of stuns. Wraith King used his stun, Glimpse was used, and Vortex was used, so she knew that she had the opportunity to teleport right in front of their faces, and they literally can't kill her. 3,100 HP. Now, how does she play this? She goes for the mirrored image damage, the 12 agility. The mirror image illusion is going to be what you take at level 20 like almost all of the time, and I'm going to guess that at level 25 she would take the Riptide armor over the 35% evasion, because she is building a butterfly anyway. Now, is she going to go ahead and farm Roshan? I think she will, right after she kills. All right, Disruptor goes down, and now she's gonna just go farm Roshan. Oh, Illusion Ruins are also just like amazing. And look how quick this is gonna go down. Even while a fight's going on here, she's... Looks like it's actually a little bit tougher than I thought. But does get to get another sleep on for the engage. They kill the Wraith King. It's gonna be life number 1, life number 2. Now she's gonna go back and finish off Roche. They got like 20 seconds or 60 seconds with no Wraith King. Another Centaur ultimate going off. Catching the Void Spirit. 6 seconds. Wait, how long is it? It's 5 seconds, right? 5-second ensnare. So Void can't time walk for 5 seconds after he gets ensnared. I love killing faceless Voids as Naga. Like other heroes can escape it usually because they build like BKBs early and stuff like that, but Void really doesn't want to waste his BKB on an ensnare. Void wants to use his Chronosphere and then BKB to fight. He doesn't want to have to BKB to escape this. And Storm is trying to escape here. Zipping on past. Does not have any mana left. Uses the Electric Vortex. Gets caught with the ensnare. Void with a nice chrono. No mana on Storm. Goes down. And here's another Song engage. Who's he gonna catch? Is someone here? Does not manage to catch anyone. So anyways, this is a perfect example though of how you Song engage into their base. Like, look how strong Naga is. This tower is up. All of this is here. Like, she's not worried. She's got a heart. She's regenerating so much per second because of the heart that she ain't worried about nothing. And that is gonna be our second game, guys. We're gonna go ahead and speed through the rest of this one, and then we'll get on to the conversation. Let's check out the scoreboard and watch her close things out. Very, very easy closure of this game. So there's a lot of important stuff I'm going to talk about soon in terms of like heroes, when you're strong, when you're not, when to pick Naga, how one of the active playmaking heroes works versus one that's not an active playmaker. all that kind of stuff we're going to get into here. And actually, you know what, I'm just going to skip this game because it's basically over. They have dominated and I don't see the other team coming back. If I take a look at the scoreboard and I take a look at the graphs, let's look at the net worth. So this is the approximate timing of the Manta right here, and now you see just how much faster Naga farms than the rest of the heroes in the game. Even the Wraith King, who has a Radiance and is a good farmer himself, just cannot keep up with Naga. They weren't that, like, Naga wasn't that far ahead. In fact, it was a pretty even game around the 10 to 15 minute mark, but that fight mid, it was a prolonged fight, and Naga just hit all of her timings. So looking at the build, the Wraith Bands, the Power Treads, the Asha, Windlace. I forgot to mention Windlace. This Naga bought Windlace as opposed to a third Wraith Band. Manta, Diffusal 18 minutes, and Heart at 24:15, and that is your build, followed up by a Butterfly to negate the physical damage. Guys, these have been 2 Naga replays. Let's talk about items, let's talk about skills, let's talk about matchups. The item builds. So let's see just what some other players have been doing, and this will give us a bit of an understanding of different ways to play Naga, or at least different ideas, right? So we're going to look at this Naga here, 14-minute Manta, then Diffusal, and then Abyssal Blade, which is really interesting. That's a BKB piercing stun that this Naga went for. I like it. It's pretty cool. Next Naga that we see, 15-minute Diffusal, 15-minute Manta, then Diffusal, then Butterfly and Abyssal Blade, and then Scotty. Cool. This Naga has a really weird build order. We got Diffusal, Heart, then Manta. Usually Manta's the first one built, so interesting. I would like to ask why. And then finishing it off, whoa, excuse me. Finishing it off with a Butterfly and a Scythe of Ice. Scythe of Ice is a natural progression item on Naga. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. And then this Naga here, it looked like was memeing around a little bit to end the game, but went for Manta, Diffusal, Butterfly, Heart, and then the Deso and the Meteor Hammer. I did also take a look at some other pro games. So if I look at these Nagas, they went... These are the Nagas that these are the games that I showed you. So where are we here? This Naga, Manta, Diffusal, Heart, Butterfly, 4th item. This Naga is Manta, Diffusal, Heart. That was the last game we just watched. Manta, Diffusal, Heart again. I don't think I checked out that replay. And then this replay here, who do we got? We got SCCC playing Naga, going Manta, Scotty, Butterfly, Abyssal. So pretty different variation there. I do not love Scotty. I think Scotty is a little bit underwhelming right now for the price, but Naga does farm very quickly, and I've seen people be effective with the Scotty. I just personally don't like it. Yawar going for the 13-minute Manta, 17-minute Diffusal, Butterfly, and then Scythe of Ice. So Butterfly is good. I'll explain more of that in a second. We'll get into which items to build and why. And we'll just look at another build variation here. This one goes for the Scotty instead of the Heart. And this one, what do we do here? We go Manta, Diffusal, Butterfly, S and Y. So S and Y is actually throws me off a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, items. Let's talk about items and why you're gonna do why you're gonna do what you do with Naga, or why you're gonna vary the items in whichever way you want to vary them with Naga. So the type of items that you want to get, and the reason you want to get these items. So I'll explain which ones you should get and what scenarios you might want to get them in. Manta and Diffusal are very, very cookie cutter, and they're pretty standard. You're pretty much always going to want to get your Manta style and then your Diffusal blade. Now your third item, if there's a lot of physical damage, that's when you want to get a Butterfly. So if you're fighting against people that are going to be right clicking you a lot, that's when you want Butterfly. If there is a lot of magical damage or a lot of burst damage, a Heart is probably your option. You will also eventually or sometimes need to get a BKB. Not often will you be getting a BKB. It's a situational item. However, there are games, especially the later that they go, that BKB will be necessary for your main hero to be able to do anything. So if there's so much control that your hero can't play and your illusions are getting wiped out so fast, then BKB is probably your call. Now, instead of Heart or after Heart, some people like to go, like I was saying, Butterfly. We've been seeing some Abyssal pickups because Abyssal Blade is just so good. It's a 600 range blink. It's a bash. It's so good. So getting an Abyssal, I like the idea of it. It does give you a lot of strength. It gives you damage. I do like seeing that, although I don't build it myself. I haven't built it myself in any games. I'm definitely going to try that out. What you will see sometimes is, instead of an Abyssal, what I prefer is a Scythe of Ice. Now, a Scythe of Ice is cheaper than an Abyssal, and it gives you more stats. It gives you 10 strength, 10 agility, 35 int, 9 mana regeneration, and a hex. So the hex is a you can't BKB through a hex, you know what I mean? So if you manage to catch somebody with a hex, that could be your opportunity to burst and kill people down. You won't very often see Naga Sirens buy AC. The reason for that is because Naga Siren's already high in armor, and it's just not the type of item she builds. You also won't see Naga Sirens build Sanj and Yasha very often. We did see it that game. You don't need to build something like a Mjolnir because you already have your farming mechanic in Riptide. You don't need to build something like a Radiance because you already have your farming mechanic in Riptide. There are games where you will opt to buy a Monkey King bar, but not that many, because your illusions and your main hero all attacking, if you manage to get your illusions and your main hero all attacking at the same time, the mischance on a Radiance isn't that big, and the Monkey King bar won't come through for you, and it doesn't do that much for it. It doesn't really do anything for your illusions either. So Monkey King bar, not very often are you going to buy it. Now, Scotty is like the underwhelming but good situational based item that you get. It gives you a lot of stats. Yeah, it helps you slow people down, but if you're not killing them within the ensnare and diffusal duration, then the Scotty probably isn't going to be the game changer. What I do like to see instead of Scotty, and a lot of games people will get it, is if you're up against heroes with strong passives, getting a Silver Edge is really good. So now Silver Edge gives you 30 attack speed, 15 to all attributes. These two things pass on to your illusions. The damage does not, but the attack speed and the attributes do. So that's why Scotty is such a nice item. If you're playing against like a Bristleback, if you're just like looking to catch people in fights, it might be like your third or your fourth or fifth item. If you're playing against a Spectre, a Silver Edge has the break ability, so it is fantastic for those type of heroes. So, looking at heroes, we'll talk about who Naga is very good against. And you have to think about how Naga lanes. So Naga's laning is really dependent on having her illusions alive. So if they have heroes that do a lot of AoE damage early in the lanes, that can be very annoying for you. So Snapfire, for example, is a very annoying hero for you because Snapfire has Scatter Blast, but this hero doesn't do a lot to Naga in the late game. Well, she does. She's not like a threat to Naga in the late game. Something that's more of a threat to Naga in the late game is Mjolnir builders. So Juggernaut with a Mjolnir, Monkey King with a Mjolnir, Void with a Mjolnir. Almost anyone who builds a Mjolnir is really scary for Naga to deal with. In addition to that, heroes that can clear waves very quickly. So Legion Commander is good against Naga because Overwhelming Odds does a lot of damage to the illusions. You can basically drop Q. If Naga ever does pops mirror image in front of a Legion Commander, Legion should just drop a Q on top of Naga right away, use Overwhelming Odds, and clear almost all those illusions very, very quickly. Other heroes that are pretty decent against Naga, Alchemist has faster timings and should be able to fight her before she gets her timings. That is if you play an Alchemist that goes something that ends the game at like 20 minutes. If the Alchemist doesn't end the game and Naga pushes out past 25 to 30 minutes, then Alchemist has missed his timing, and it's Naga's opportunity to hit hers. If you're up against a Spectre as Naga, that's one of the examples of somebody you would want to build a Silver Edge for, because Spectre has 2 passives. He's got Desolate and Dispersion. Supports that Naga doesn't like dealing with, I'm going to go ahead and say that Jakiro is probably my most annoying. You don't like Lena's because Lena's can just AoE clear your waves. Anybody who has easy clearing of AoE waves is annoying to deal with. Lion is a hero that's super easy to deal with unless he gets the +2 mana drain multi-target, and then once he gets +2 mana drain multi-target, he basically just mana drains your illusions and insta kills them, and that's very annoying because he's just like, you're trying to split push multiple waves and Lion's destroying all of your illusions right away. He can also lock you down for a very long time. So until level, like, this is a farmed Lion we're talking about. I'm saying if the game goes to like 40 minutes or so and the Lion gets to that point where he's that strong, you're not that scared of anyone. You're not that scared of like lone druids. Anti-mages you're not too terrified of. In fact, anti-mage you're not scared of at all. You're basically stronger than anti-mage at almost every point in the game. Riki is another hero that you are very good against. Anything else that we should consider? Let's take a look at Naga Siren on Dota Buffer one more time to see if I have missed anything in terms of heroes. Maybe somebody I haven't been thinking of. Oh, who she's really good against. Yeah, okay, I guess this is a really good one to think about. So Naga Siren is really good against Visage because she destroys the familiars and Visage can't do anything about it. Really great against Lycan because Lycan can't push into Naga Siren. And Naga Siren has the 5-second ensnare that stops that super fast wolf from going anywhere. You can usually burst Lycan down in that time frame. Clinks is single target damage. Brood, she clears the broodlings. Chaos Knight doesn't like dealing with illusion based heroes that burn his mana, so Chaos Knight can basically do nothing to a Naga Siren. Like, I've seen this matchup a lot of times. It never goes well. Naga Siren really good against Enchantress. If you're up against somebody like Silencer or Bane, you just send your illusions on these kind of heroes in a fight and don't even look at them. A lot of the time you'll just get the kill. Worst versus. All right, let's see who Naga is technically worst versus. I guess there are a couple heroes that I missed in terms of what I was talking about. So Sand King and Jakiro are very similar in the ability to lock down the Naga Siren. This is the stun into the epicenter. The Jakiro would be the Macropyre and Ice Path. The way you set up kills with Jakiro, by the way, is to have one hero who has something like a Eul Scepter, and then Jakiro throws down Ice Path and Macropyre underneath where the Eul Scepter area is, and it's just really good. Underlord is good because of Firestorm and the Pit of Malice. Timbersaw, while good early against Naga, I don't think he's that big of a threat later in the game, especially if you get to your Diffusal Manta. You can just burn Timbersaw's mana. He's not that huge of a threat. Same with Leshrac. Like, Leshrac is like sometimes really good, but also if Leshrac makes a mistake, it just falls off really hard. It's a hero that I'm not that scared of seeing. Necrophos, I'm not that scared of. Earthshaker is okay, but if you're a good Naga player and you keep your illusions split, Earthshaker's not bothering you too much. And then the Legion Commander. Legion, again, is very similar to... He's only good against Naga because he can kill the illusions very, very easily. So I think that's a pretty good overview of the heroes. Last thing I want to talk about is... in the guides. Where are we, guides? Naga. The alternative options for the skill builds here. So it's mirror image. It's basically mirror image damage or movement speed. I wish I could see this a little bit better. Mirror image damage over movement speed. Strength versus agility. Image +1 mirror image versus ensnare duration. And evasion versus riptide armor. This is totally subjective to you. You make this up each game that you go. These ones here, between the movement speed and the image damage, you just decide. If you feel like at level 15 you're barely surviving your fights, you can go ahead and get the strength over the agility. It will make all of your illusions stronger as well. At level 20, you don't really have a choice unless you're playing... the only time you go in snare cooldown is if you're playing like a position 4 or 5 Naga, which used to be viable, but you very rarely see it anymore. And then at level 20, the -10 Riptide armor versus the evasion. If you've gone for a butterfly, you'll probably opt to go for the Riptide armor. However, if you're dying to a lot of physical damage, then maybe you still get that evasion as well. Okay, we covered a lot. That ended up being a bit longer than I expected because we did go through the 2 replays, but I wanted to show one instance of a Naga losing her lane and then still hitting her timings, and an instance of a Naga winning her lane and getting relatively the same timings as the Naga who lost her lane. I think it was hopefully a pretty educational way to demonstrate the way that Naga can farm in a game where she's behind and a game where she's ahead. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Navetz, representing my esports team, the Sploush Troupe. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me on YouTube. I will be doing more guides. So until next time, I will see you guys. Peace.